I'm going to give you 5 reasons why people hate living in Lakeland, Florida. Now, I moved to Lakeland back in 1988, so I lived there for over 30 years before I moved to Winter Haven a few years ago. And I can tell you, things have changed in Lakeland since 1988, like you would not believe. It was a pretty sleepy town back then, probably 100, 105,000 people. It's more than doubled since then. So, number one is the population. Since COVID and all of the riots and everything that happened over the past few years, we have seen so many people moving into the Lakeland area, and Lakeland has been popular for the past 5 to 8 years. It's been one of the hottest growing cities in Polk County. And so we have this overpopulation of people that have come from out of state or out of the area moving into Lakeland. And now it's caused all kinds of issues in terms of just being able to get to where you want to go and being able to do the things you want to do. That leads me to number 2, and that's traffic. The traffic situation in Lakeland has gotten pretty dire. I think they're going to need to start working with the city planner's office and come up with a way of dealing with this, because you're constantly getting into these snags of traffic where rush hour or morning commute, you have a hard time. And even during the middle of the day, you can sit there for a little bit. It's not like Orlando or Tampa rush hour where, you're sitting there for an hour, you're sitting there for 20 minutes, but it shows you how big Lakeland has grown and how unprepared we were for the growth. So that's number 2, is the traffic situation. If you're coming from another state, or if you're coming from another city in Florida that has a high walkability value, and I think there's a website called Walk Score where you can score. They'll score the area that you're wanting to look at as to how commutable it is by foot traffic. Lakeland is just not that kind of a town unless you live right in downtown. From downtown Lakeland, you can get pretty much where you want to go, but there's not a whole lot of options for you as far as houses or condos or anything else. So for the most part, it's either a car or a bicycle or scooter, something else, because the walkability value is not there in most of Lakeland. Most of Lakeland, you're going to have a car to move around. If you're in an area where, you have the ability to ride a bike, you may have a 10 or 15 minute bike ride to get to where you want to go. For the most part, it's not the most walkable city in the world, if that's really an important thing to you. It's not like a lot of cities down a lot of places like Miami or up in New York, where you have everything around you, including lots of condos, lots of townhomes, and you can pretty much walk wherever you want to go. That's just not how Lakeland works. And so if you don't have a car and it's longer than, a bike ride, you may have to take the bus. And to be honest with you, the bus system is good, but it's still pretty limited. And so between those two, it can be a little bit of a hassle if that's what you're looking for. Number 4, and that is nightlife and entertainment. Lakeland, even though it is a little bit bigger city, it's not a huge city. It's not a Tampa. It's not an Orlando. So the nightlife is going to be pretty limited. You may find that most of everything you like to do as far as nightlife goes, whether it's clubs or bars, you'll have to go to Orlando or Tampa to get to. That's just not Lakeland. That's not the vibe. And so when you're looking at that kind of activity, especially if you're a late night person that wants to be able to stay out, do some partying, do some drinking, doing whatever, and then you want to go and grab something to eat, maybe at an all-night restaurant or whatever, you're better off in Tampa or Orlando, because Lakeland doesn't have that much to offer you. It has some, but not that much, and it tends to roll the business up, by about 10 or 11 o'clock. And so unless it's the weekends, you're probably going to be a little limited there. So number 5 is crime. In certain areas, we're having a crime issue. There's always been drugs and gangs in pretty much every place you can go to in the state of Florida. It's a hard thing to deal with, and law enforcement has been trying to put their thumb on it for a long time. But, sometimes there's areas that just tend to kind of breed that kind of crime or criminality. And so Lakeland is no different. There are areas up in North Lakeland and in Central Lakeland around downtown that have higher crime than other areas. You may find more crime in the areas that are going down the strip of 92 or out into Kathleen. For the most part, most of Lakeland is pretty safe, but there are certain areas you really have to watch out for. Now, my suggestion for you, if you're looking at getting into a home in Lakeland, when you find homes that you like, do some research on sheriff substations next to that home. Call the substation and ask for the records department. Let them know that you're wanting to purchase a home in the area and you want 6 months worth of crime data. Let them know you want whatever, whether it's burglaries, robberies, personal vehicle crime, personal property crime, muggings, whatever the case may be. Let them know, and they'll send you a report of what's been going on in that area for like a half a mile. And so that's going to be a big help in determining whether or not the area you're looking into or that community is going to be a good community to support you without having to worry about crime. So I'm going to give you a bonus. The next thing is kind of near and dear to my heart because we're going through this with my son. My son's almost 21. He's been looking for a job in IT, and the competition has been fierce. The job market in Lakeland is good in some ways, not so great in others. If you are involved in the medical field, we have a lot of things going on in Lakeland. We have Lakeland Regional Medical. We have the new Orlando Health that's coming in that they're building right now. We have all of these things that, probably would be good opportunities for you if you're looking to get a good paying job. If you're looking at warehouse jobs, we have Amazon. If you're looking at, working for a big corporation like Publix was pretty much formed and started in Lakeland. But there are certain industries, whether it's manufacturing or whatever, that are pretty weak here. And so aside from retail and health and, service industry type businesses, you may not find what you're looking for if what you're looking for is pretty specialized. And so that may end up, leaning you more towards Tampa, more towards Orlando. Either way, Lakeland is still a great place to live, but these are the things that make it harder for a lot of folks to want to live there. And so if these are things that you really don't find an issue with, maybe you're working from home, you've got a job that you don't have to go any place for, and you're pretty comfortable with everything else, Lakeland's a great place to live. Like I said, I lived there for 30 years. If you're looking at making a move to Lakeland and this hasn't scared you off, make sure you let me know. All my information is in the description below. And if you'd like to talk a little bit more and get some more specific, detailed information on what it's like living in Lakeland, just go to talkwithvince.com and set up a Zoom meeting on my calendar, and I'd be more than happy to sit down with you. Or if you'd like, if you're in the area, I'd love to sit down and have a cup of coffee with you. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you got a lot out of it, and I'll see you on the next one.